Sister wives, David Woolleys' stubbornness could cause issues in his marriage to Cristin Brown. Is there trouble in paradise? Sister wives star Cristin Brown's happily married, but David Woolleys' stubbornness could eventually lead to trouble in paradise. Cristin is a former polygamist who was once married to Cody Brown. She was Cody's third wife, and they had 6 children together. In 2021, after 27 years of marriage, Cristin decided to walk away from Cody and the plural family. She soon started online dating, and it wasn't long before she met and married David. While her first wedding was a subdued affair attended by Cody's other wives, Cristin and David's wedding was a big event that aired. Since getting married, newlyweds Cristin and David have seemed genuinely happy together, but his stubbornness could prove to be a problem. Sister Wives Season 19 begins from when Cristin first started dating David to after they moved in together. It was clear from early on that Cristin and David were more compatible than she ever was with Cody. The mother of 6 never liked having to share her husband and is much happier being in a monogamous relationship. While she's in love with David, she does sometimes grow frustrated with his stubbornness. Sister Wives Season 19 premiered in early September 2024, and Cristin and David's whirlwind romance took center stage during the first half of the season. Cristin met David soon after leaving Cody, and they dated for less than a year before moving in together. It was surprising because Cristin always seemed too conservative to ever live with a man out of wedlock. It wasn't long before Cristin and David were engaged and then married in a televised wedding that aired on TLC. David initially expressed no interest in appearing on the show but was convinced to change his mind. Before meeting Cristin, David was a lonely widower with 8 children and 10 grandchildren, so he was very comfortable with her huge family. In addition to Cristin's 6 children, Janelle and her 5 children are major parts of his new life. The new season started filming before Cristin even met David, so fans got to watch the entire timeline of their love story. During the second half of the season, Cristin and David moved in together, and her children got to know her new man. Cristin grew up in a polygamous family. Cristin's family is very important in the community, which is a big part of why Cody wanted to marry her. Even though she grew up in the lifestyle, the Sister Wives Season 19 star didn't thrive in it. She was a romantic who didn't like having to share her husband. Now that she's in a monogamous marriage, Cristin has no intention of going back to a plural marriage. She and David intend to live in a traditional marriage. Cristin's first wedding was attended by her husband's other 2 wives. She didn't even feel like she could celebrate and be happy because the wedding wasn't really about her. At her second wedding, Cristin was thrilled to be marrying a man who was all hers. Cristin and David's October 2023 wedding was documented for a 2-part Sister Wives special. Cristin wore an off-the-shoulder wedding dress, choosing to show off her matching tattoo with David, who wore an all-black suit. Cristin and David were surrounded by their families on their big day. Cristin's 6 children with Cody approve of her marriage to David, who says he has no intention of replacing their father. On the night before the wedding, some of her daughters reflected on their mother's wedding. Aspeen Brown expressed excitement, and her younger sisters, Truly Brown and Isabel Brown, agreed. Cristin's other daughter, Mykelti Padron, says she's already accepted David as her stepfather. He's obsessed with her, and so it's nice to see that. And he should be. She's awesome, Isabel said. During a recent episode of Sister Wives Season 19, David's famous stubbornness was on full display. The whole family was hanging out in the backyard during a fun gathering. When a frisbee was thrown into the neighbor's yard, David wanted to climb over the fence to get it. Cristin didn't want him climbing the fence, so as not to set a bad example for the children. Though she was adamant, David ignored her and climbed the fence to retrieve the frisbee. It was a small moment, but it was instructive for Cristin, who realized she had more control over her household during her marriage to Cody. During her first marriage, her husband wasn't around often, so she got her way more often than not. That being said, Cristin still seems happier with David than she was in her first marriage. She'd take his stubbornness over Cody's neglect any day of the week. The scene ends with Cristin laughing off David's frisbee incident. Cristin Brown once endured decades in a marriage where her voice often went unheard. After breaking free from the chaos of polygamy and the shadow of Cody Brown's ego, viewers rejoiced as she stepped into the sunlight of a new romance with David Woolleys, a charming, motorcycle-riding widower who seemed to embody everything Cody wasn't. Their chemistry was palpable, their road trips joyful, and their social media posts filled with laughter and love. But as the honeymoon glow begins to fade, fans can't help but wonder, is there trouble brewing in Cristin and David's paradise? Behind the Instagram perfect photos of matching flannel shirts and sweet ice cream dates lies a more complex picture. Rumors have begun swirling that David's deep-rooted stubbornness is starting to clash with Cristin's newfound independence. In interviews, Cristin has often spoken of how liberating it feels to finally make decisions for herself, from what to cook for dinner to how to decorate her home. But what happens when her new partner, the one she believed would always support her, starts planting his own flag in the ground a little too firmly? Sources close to the couple say that David, while loving and loyal, can be incredibly set in his ways. He reportedly prefers to do things the right way, which often means his way. Whether it's navigating road trip routes, budgeting, or even planning holidays, Cristin has allegedly found herself in a few tense standoffs with David behind closed doors. Though she's no stranger to compromise, Cristin has spent years sacrificing her preferences for the sake of Cody's family vision. She's not about to give up her autonomy again. One moment in particular, quietly observed by fans during a recent livestream, showed Cristin gently suggesting a new color scheme for their kitchen. David smiled but quickly dismissed the idea, saying, "I don't think that'll work. We'll keep it how it is." Cristin laughed it off, but eagle-eyed viewers noted the tightness in her smile. It was a small moment, but to longtime Sister Wives fans, it rang alarm bells. Was Cristin being silenced again, even in her supposedly blissful new chapter? What makes this situation so emotionally loaded is that Cristin represents more than just a reality star escaping an unhappy marriage. She's a symbol of female empowerment, of reclaiming one's voice after decades of spiritual and emotional submission. Her fans are fiercely protective of her and quick to notice anything that hints at a return to old patterns. To be fair, David is not Cody. He doesn't seem driven by ego or control, nor does he preach about patriarchy. But his quiet certainty, his unshakable confidence in his own judgment, can still feel oppressive to someone who's spent much of her adult life trying to please everyone else. Cristin isn't just navigating a new relationship. She's navigating herself, rediscovering her wants, needs, and boundaries in real time. The emotional stakes are even higher considering how public their relationship has become. From the beginning, fans have followed every post, every comment, every blurry photo from Disneyland. With that visibility comes pressure, not just to make things work, but to perform happiness for an audience that desperately wants to believe in Cristin's happily ever after. That can make it harder to acknowledge cracks when they appear. It doesn't help that Cristin's children have opinions of their own. Some are reportedly cautious about the speed at which their mother dove into this new relationship. She deserves to be happy, one insider said, but they worry she's ignoring red flags just because David is nothing like Cody. And right now, that's the bar. In recent weeks, Cristin has made a few cryptic posts about growing through discomfort and learning to speak up, which some fans interpret as subtle hints that all is not well. One caption in particular, "Sometimes love is about listening, not fixing," sent Reddit sleuths into a frenzy. Was she trying to send a message to David, or just reflecting on past wounds? Still, it's important not to overreact. All relationships go through growing pains, especially those built in the aftermath of trauma. Cristin and David are still learning how to communicate, how to coexist, how to disagree. But the key difference, and the one that fans hope she holds on to, is that Cristin now has the tools and the courage to advocate for herself. David's stubbornness may pose a challenge, but it could also be a growth opportunity for them both. If Cristin can push back with love, and if David can learn to hear her without getting defensive, then their relationship could deepen in beautiful ways. After all, conflict isn't always a sign of doom. Sometimes it's a sign that two people care enough to try.